Did you know that the dryer vent that's not cleaned out is one of the leading causes of house fires? In this video, I will show you how to clean out your dryer vent, not only the lint trap, but to go outside and clean your dryer vent very simply so that your machine can run much more efficiently and dry the clothes in the way that it was meant to be. You are watching this video because your dryer does not seem to be drying the clothes. The clothes are warm. When you go in and reach, they're warm. There's lots of warmth and moisture here, humidity. You can even see it fogging up the screen. But things are not getting dry. Well, I got a few very easy tips for you to easily remedy this problem. Now, I'm assuming that anyone that uses a dryer does this, but I don't want to make that assumption and skip that most important thing. Dryer fires can start right here. That really hot heat from the coils blows right into this, and this stuff can be very flammable, especially when you start a new load and this stuff is dry. It says right here, clean after each load. That's down inside where the lint trap goes, and that's definitely where the fire hazard can be. Not only in addition to your hose out that vents outside, but your lint trap is the most important part of drying your clothes safely. So you want to pull it out. Quite often I pull mine out very carefully so it doesn't get dust all over. If you saw some go back inside there, then just take your rag and reach carefully a little bit just to get some of that out of there. This is the part you really want to keep clean, is where your lint trap goes. And you definitely want to take care when you pull it out so that lint doesn't drop back down in there. So you take your lint trap to your garbage can and you just basically pull this lint right off of there. It usually comes off very easily. But once that's cleaned off, it's good to take a rag and give it an extra. I'm doing this with one hand. If I can do it one-handed, you can do it with both your hands, right? So you want to make sure this is very clean before you stick it back in there, especially up in here, because you're reintroducing all of this lint back into your system. And after you just cleaned it out and it's nice and safe, you don't want to introduce this lint back into the dryer vent system. So it's nice and clean now, so you can put it back and start drying your clothes. Maybe you're running your dryer 2 or 3 times and your clothes are still not completely dry. Well, you need to go check your dryer vent, and you need to go outside to do that. To find it, simply turn your dryer back on, and then you go outside and just look for where you hear the vent. It should be pretty close to where the dryer is located. In this case, our dryer vent is right here. They typically come off the side of the house, and sometimes they're up quite high or in an area you can't reach. So you're going to have to work with the building owner or the previous owner to find out how did they access this dryer vent. Your dryer vent should be cleaned out several times a year. Dryer vents are one of the leading causes of house fires. Okay, let's disassemble this one here. We've got a vent guard on it, on ours. Look, one thing that tells me that there's a problem here is look at all the pieces of lint, dog hair that's coming out of here. I can feel that there's some air coming out of here, but this squirrel guard is trapping all of the lint. So I'm going to pull this off, and if it's not too hot, it's safe to do. Look at all that completely obstructed. So simply just take this over. You know, birds love this lint, so if you leave it outside, depending on, you don't want it to blow into your neighbor's yard, but you can leave this lint outside. I put it, my dad taught me, put it up in trees in the spring. That might look dumb, but you know, we like wildlife, so we like to attract birds, and I don't have anyone around that'll see it because we're out in the woods. We're at our lake home, and so you get rid of the lint. The main thing is that you want to get this trap unobstructed. If you don't have critters that'll get into your house, then you don't even have to worry about the trap. Now the second step is up inside there's going to be a lot more of the same. And this is a sign that I have so much lint in my system. And I did clean it out 6 months ago, but there's this much lint And that is a fire hazard. So there's another step I can show you. The first thing we got to do is go turn off the dryer, because you don't want to stick your hand up in there when it's hot. It is good to pull out your dryer a couple times a year and get behind there. Just make sure that there's no pieces of cloth or lint that would be a fire hazard. Mine's a little tough to get to because it's really tucked into a tight corner. However, it's very light. The dryer is extremely light to move. If the top of your dryer is full of lint, then that's a good sign that the rest of behind here is full of lint as well. And you can see that there are fire hazards back in here, so we're going to get a broom and sweep that out. The other thing, you could unplug it just by simply pulling this out of the wall. Don't touch those metal prongs. But you can see that I can reach it. I don't even have to unplug it. I'm basically just going to leave it alone. So you can see in my case, I can easily move it out of the way by myself. Anybody can move their dryer. It's not that heavy. And then you just get in behind there. And if you've never done this, you're going to be probably shocked at how much stuff is back there that needs to be cleaned. And that's a fire hazard. It's definitely, because just think of all the heat that a dryer has. It has heating elements. It's like having an oven, because it has heating elements that turn red hot. Another important thing to do is figure out how to disconnect your dryer vent hose. Now there's different ways of attaching your dryer vent to your dryer. There's usually clamps, and you can look up instructions on how to clamp your dryer vent on. Most likely when you pull your dryer out from the wall, you're going to see how your dryer vent is clamped to your dryer. It simply goes around this round part on the outside and clamps on. So now we've cleaned behind here. You can see inside the machine itself, it's very clean, so I'm very happy. There's no fire hazard there at all. Inside here, it's a little dirty, but again, I cleaned it out with a special tool back about 6 months ago. And you could actually just reach your hand in there with a cloth and clean it out. It's not that hard to do. You just want to break the stuff loose. If your dryer vent hose is really filthy, then for a couple bucks you can go get a new one. And it's not that hard to just replace with a new one. You want to get one that's long enough. You can see this one's 4 feet long. I'd recommend maybe getting a 6-foot length, but you can talk to your hardware store about that. But you don't want this stuff hanging around in there causing a fire hazard. I clean mine out quite routinely. Now I'm not selling this tool at all. I'm not trying to promote it for anybody. Nobody's paid me to do it. But this is a part that I bought that simply attaches to the drill. And you can see as the drill spins, it spins this cleaning brush. Again, I'm not endorsing this. This is just an item that I've read articles on that you would want to have in your home arsenal of tools. Now this time I'm going to put it in from this end. Last time I ran it from the outside, but I think it'd probably be better to run it from the inside and push the stuff outward, out toward the outside. Super easy to do. Push it in further and further until it gets all the way to the end, as far as you can reach. I'm going to pull back. See how easy that is? There might be a little bit of residual left in there, but when you hook it back up and run your dryer, it'll blow it right outside. When you reinstall your dryer hose vent to the back of your dryer, make sure that it is secured as it is meant to be. And most of these hoses come with a clamp that you can use a screw and screw that clamp back on. Once you make sure it's securely on there and that it's not loose at all, then you can very carefully push your dryer back into place, making sure that the assembly does not come loose. If there's any gap or hole in that hose, you're going to get lint blowing back into the house along with hot, moist air. In the winter you'll see it because it'll fog up your windows in that room. So we'll get this pushed back into place and start it up, run it again. Make sure you don't see any dust blowing from behind here. A little bit of dust left from my work and from sweeping the floor, but Next thing we're going to do is go outside and make sure that you see it venting properly to the outside. With the machine running, I'm going to stick the end of this cleaner just a little bit up inside there. And the reason I want it running is it'll blow it right back out. And I'm going to run it real close. Look at all that's coming out of there. And I do this routinely. So if this collects this much lint for my machine, think of how much is in your machine. And it's going to be quite a fire hazard. So there you have it. Now we can put this back together. It's not going to be completely clean. You want to get rid of all that you can. Also, go outside and clean this if you have one of these traps every week. These have to be done every week. The reason mine is so filthy is that my daughter that lives here probably didn't follow my instructions. Maybe she didn't remember or hear me say that this needs to be done, or perhaps I forgot to tell her to do it. Who knows? Anything is possible. But again, you're going to want to clean this out right here with your hand. Just pull that out every week, if not every month. It's up to you, but the longer you wait, the more the fire hazard and the less efficient your machine is. Your machine is most efficient right now because now there's no obstruction. And now these towels and shirts will be dry in no time.
Well, what we have here is we set this up in our burn trailer here at Willoughby, and what it is it's basically we got a washer and a dryer set up. We set up a wall behind the washer and dryer. There's actually a void space behind that dryer or that wall for our fire scenario. And what we did is we set up just like you would a typical dryer laundry room in a house. We have a vent behind the dryer just like you would in your house. It's that tin foil vent filled with lint. So this is going to stick into that lint trap, and we'll turn it on and it'll simulate that heat source that heats that lint up in there, and we'll see how it goes from there. Basically what we had is we had a fire start behind the dryer. You saw that going, the vent started going. And what happens is it gets hot inside there, and eventually it gets the clothes inside that heats the drum and heats the clothes in the dryer, and we end up with a dryer fire. If you go over and open the door to the dryer fire, you see what the difference is. Now all of a sudden the dryer has oxygen to it. You go in to check your clothes because you smell something. Next thing you know, you got a dryer fire, and we're going to end up catching the clothes on fire outside the dryer. You can see the change in the room. Clothes are going to catch. We're going to go to an untenable situation in here in a few minutes. I would say it's about time. That's it, you're going. Clothes are going. Okay?
Let's review a few safety tips when using dryers in the home. First, it is very important that you keep your lint screens free of any lint buildup in between each use, and to also at least annually pull your dryer away from the wall and clean out any built up lint that may occur in the back of the dryer and underneath the dryer. It's also very important to make sure that your vent to the outside of your home is flowing freely and moving air freely so that you can prevent any heat buildup. And last, it is a good practice to never use your dryer unless you're home so that you can keep an eye on it and be aware if there are any problems that are starting to occur with your dryer. I want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Tillow's Corner. And remember, stay safe, Louisville.
If you found this video helpful, give a thumbs up. Make sure to make comments in the comment section below, because I'm not a heating and air conditioning professional. I don't even install dryers. Well, I do for myself, but I don't do it for other people. So you'd want to consult with the people that you bought your machine from for any additional help. Also, consult your owner's manual. It's a very easy way to assure that you're making your machine run as efficiently as possible. But if your towels and shirts aren't getting dry, you might want to start by just checking outside, seeing what it looks like. Hey, and also, we can learn from each other. So if you have any really good tips to give, please write those in the comments section below. Also, check my description underneath this video for any additional details or comments that I need to give to you as ideas, especially if I learn from other people. If it's an important enough topic, I'll put it in the comments section in my description below. Thanks for watching Frosty Life. Now it's time to go fishing.